The fall of Baghdad was more than the destruction of a city. It was the collapse of an era. Europe would not see that level of scholarship and urban sophistication for centuries to come. The Renaissance, which the West often celebrates, drew heavily from translations of works once preserved in Baghdad. And yet, the original manuscripts, the first-hand brilliance, were lost forever. Think about it. An empire of knowledge, gone in a single moment. Historians often call it one of the greatest cultural catastrophes in human history. Baghdad, once the city of light, became a graveyard of silence. Even today, when we talk about the loss of ancient knowledge, whether it's the Library of Alexandria or the burning of Mayan codices, the destruction of Baghdad in 1258 stands as a haunting reminder. Civilization is fragile. Cities rise, ideas flourish, but in the chaos of war, even the brightest lights can be extinguished. And yet, the story doesn't end there. Centuries later, scholars in the West, unknowingly fueled by fragments of Baghdad's legacy, rebuilt knowledge brick by brick. What survived, through translations, travelers, and preserved scraps, helped shape the modern sciences, medicine, and technology we rely on today. In a strange way, the spirit of Baghdad still lives on in every book, every university, and every spark of human curiosity. The night Baghdad fell was a tragedy, but it is also a warning. The greatest treasures of humanity are not gold or palaces, they are ideas. And once they are gone, they can never truly be replaced.
Have you ever heard of the night when an entire city disappeared without fire, without invasion, but simply vanished? This isn't legend, it's history, and it happened in one of the most mysterious chapters of the medieval world. In the year 1258, Baghdad stood as the beating heart of civilization. At the time, Europe was crawling out of the Dark Ages, but Baghdad was a city of light. It had hospitals with trained physicians, libraries that housed over 1 million manuscripts, astronomical observatories that tracked the stars with a precision centuries ahead of their time, and scholars who debated philosophy, medicine, and mathematics in the House of Wisdom. For nearly 500 years, Baghdad had been the crown jewel of the Islamic Golden Age. To give you perspective, if New York, Washington, and Silicon Valley were combined into one single city, that was Baghdad in the 13th century. But on February 10, 1258, a storm like no other arrived, not from the skies, but from the Mongols. Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, marched with one of the largest armies the world had ever seen. His soldiers encircled Baghdad, cutting off every escape. What happened next shocked the world. For days, the Mongols bombarded the city with giant siege engines, catapults hurling massive stones that tore down the walls. Once they entered, a massacre began. Historians estimate that up to 200,000 people were killed in less than 2 weeks. Some sources even claim close to 1 million. But the destruction of human life was only half the tragedy. The Mongols stormed the libraries of Baghdad, including the famed House of Wisdom. Inside were priceless works, Greek philosophy translated into Arabic, mathematical treatises that would inspire future discoveries, medical knowledge from Persia and India, astronomical charts, maps, and poetry that stretched back centuries. The invaders threw the books into the Tigris River. Eyewitnesses described a sight so surreal it sounds like myth. The river ran black with ink. For days, manuscripts floated in the current, their pages bleeding words into the water until the Tigris itself looked like a sea of spilled knowledge. One chronicler wrote, "If all the oceans of the world had been turned into ink, they could not have compared with what was lost that day."